Welcome back to my channel Legacy Coins Use a Hello dear friend and viewers. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is one of the most misunderstood coins in modern American history, and that misunderstanding is exactly what makes it so fascinating. At first glance, many people dismiss it because of its size, its gray color, or the fact that it was often confused with a quarter in everyday circulation. But the moment you really study it, the coin starts to feel far more important. On the front is Susan B. Anthony, one of the most significant women ever honored on a circulating U.S. coin, surrounded by all liberty and in God we trust. On the back is the classic $1 reverse with the eagle landing on the moon, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $1. It looks modern, but it carries a deeper story of symbolism, controversy, and collector attention that makes it far more compelling than many people expect. What gives this coin real emotional power is the person on the obverse. Susan B. Anthony was not just a design choice. She was a historic figure in the fight for women's rights, and her appearance on a U.S. dollar coin gave the series a place in a much larger American story. That alone makes the coin memorable. But memory is not the same as rarity, and this is where the collector world becomes more interesting. The 1979 P dollar was struck in large numbers, so most ordinary circulated examples are not rare in the dramatic way viral claims often suggest. Still, that does not make the coin unimportant. In coin collecting, a high mintage coin can still become desirable if it survives in exceptional condition, shows a strong strike, or carries a recognized variety that separates it from the ordinary pieces people ignored. The Philadelphia Mint mark matters a great deal here. The P tells you this coin was struck in Philadelphia, and on the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, that mint mark becomes especially important because collectors often pay close attention to the style and appearance of the mark itself. One of the biggest reasons this date stays popular in collector conversations is the well-known difference between what are commonly called the wide rim and narrow rim varieties, also known by some collectors as near date and far date. On the wide rim version, the date appears closer to the rim, creating a tighter look that stands out once you know what to compare. This is the kind of small difference that casual viewers almost always miss. But in the collector world, tiny spacing details can completely change how a coin is discussed. That variety story is exactly what keeps the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar alive as a treasure hunt coin. Most people assume value comes from age alone, but coins like this prove the opposite. Two coins can share the same date, same design, same general look, and still belong to very different collector conversations because of one subtle feature. The wide rim 1979 P has drawn stronger interest than the standard narrow rim in many cases because it feels distinct and visually identifiable once you learn what to look for. That turns the coin from old dollar into specific collectible. And once a coin becomes specific, it becomes exciting because suddenly the viewer is not just checking whether they own one. They are checking which one they own. Condition adds another huge layer to the story. Most Susan B. Anthony dollars were handled, stored loosely, and picked up marks quickly. Their broad surfaces and modest color make every scratch and contact mark easy to see. That means a clean, lustrous, sharply preserved 1979 P dollar can stand out much more than beginners expect. A coin with strong original surfaces, fewer distracting marks, and a crisp overall appearance immediately feels different from the average example found in a worn bank bag or random change jar. This is one of the biggest lessons in coin collecting. A coin does not need to be extremely rare by mintage to become desirable. Sometimes it only needs to survive in unusually attractive condition, while millions of others did not. The reverse design also deserves more respect than it usually gets. The eagle descending toward the moon is not just dramatic imagery. It connects this dollar coin to the same broad patriotic and technological symbolism that shaped earlier Eisenhower dollar reverses. There is strength in that image, but also ambition. The stars, the eagle, the lunar surface, and the national inscriptions give the coin an identity that feels larger than daily commerce. That is part of why this dollar remains visually memorable even to people who never collected coins seriously. It has the kind of reverse that makes a small coin feel tied to a larger national imagination, and that emotional weight helps explain why collectors continue revisiting the series. Now comes the part that creates the strongest viewer engagement, the possibility of true standout pieces. Most 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth enormous sums, and saying that clearly actually makes the story stronger. The excitement comes from the exceptions. A high-grade wide rim example, a coin with unusually strong eye appeal, or a genuine mint error can move the conversation into a much more serious direction. Off-center strikes, die-related abnormalities, or other mint-made differences can transform a coin from a common issue into a collector target. This is what gives the coin real search value, not fantasy, but possibility. And possibility is what sends people straight to their old jars and forgotten boxes. The smartest way to talk about this coin is with honesty and suspense at the same time. No, most 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars are not hidden million-dollar treasures, but that does not reduce their importance. In fact, their real appeal is more interesting than hype. They sit at the crossroads of American social history, modern coin design, and collector variety hunting. They are accessible enough that many people may still own one. They are subtle enough that important differences can be missed. And they are familiar enough that viewers feel an immediate emotional connection when they realize an ordinary-looking dollar might carry a hidden detail worth checking. That is why the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar remains one of the most engaging modern U.S. coin stories. It is a coin people often underestimated, confused, or overlooked, yet it still holds collector interest because of its symbolism, its famous rim variety, and the challenge of finding truly strong survivors. So if you have one, do not rush to dismiss it. Study the rim spacing, check the surfaces, examine the mint mark and overall eye appeal, and compare it carefully. Because in coin collecting, the most exciting discoveries are not always the oldest or the flashiest. Sometimes they are the coins that sat unnoticed for years, waiting for someone to finally recognize that one small detail made all the difference.